Welcome back to my mental health and crime channel. My name is Huda London. I'm a licensed cognitive behavior therapist and a licensed mental health counselor. As a CBT therapist, please like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy the contents in this channel. This is for entertainment purpose only. This is the case of Nicola Jane Bulley, a 45-year-old mother who was reported missing in St. Michael's near the River Wire. She was last seen at 9:15 near the river tow part. She drove her daughters to school. Then she went for a walk with the dog Willow. Nicola and Willow walked from the school area, opposite the school area where she parked her car, and then she walked down towards Garston Road. We are aware that Garston Road is not completely filled with CCTV cameras. CCTV cameras are lacking in that place. So that will clearly show us, or that will clearly suggest that Nicola Bulley, if she did not fall in the river, that a third party involvement is very possible. The police said that there was a 10-minute gap from 9:20 to 9:33 or something to 9:30 that they couldn't or they didn't have Nicola's whereabouts. I believe that is wrong again, because Nicola was last seen at 9:15. The press conference statement from Superintendent Sally Riley said 9:10. The second one said 9:15. So from 9:15 or 9:10 up to 9:33, when the mobile device was found on the bench, is a good 23 minutes. Anything can happen in that time. We've heard of abduction that's happened in 2 minutes or a minute. But then the police insisted that Nicola fell in the river. They assured us that the cameras had been checked near the caravan, not the caravan, what was it called? Penny's place, the caravan park here, and Rowan Waters. But then we clearly heard ITV News telling us that the cameras behind the caravan park wasn't working. So now there's talk about 2 cameras that weren't working. We have Garston Road. If you go out of the river tow part and you go to the left towards the primary school and you walk downwards the Iron Bridge and downwards, there's no cameras, there's no CCTV footage. So if Nicola was kidnapped, whatever we want to call it, somebody would have noticed that. They would have heard screamings, they would have heard people, they would have heard Willow barking. It didn't happen. I believe it didn't happen because Nicola was never near the river. If Nicola went to the river or near the riverside, I believe she could have fallen from the other side of the river. But Nicola did not fall near the bench. I believe Peter Folding and the police divers from Lancashire and the other nearby areas who checked clearly the bench areas and the river, they scrutinized it. Nicola wasn't in the river. I believe the sad thing that happened here is that there should have been a teamwork to find Nicola Bulley. But then what happened is I think everyone got caught up with their own ego. Let's be honest. The police were saying one thing in the press conference. We had Peter Folding saying that she fell in the river. No, that she isn't in the river. We have the partner Paul saying that Nicola is not in the river. He said The river is not what happened. And then we have the police saying, yes, she fell in the river. Obviously, the police are the experts in their branch, but it's always important to have an open mind in a case like this. By having an open mind, it gives you more time, and it gives you a clear mind to debunk some of the things and to prioritize what is important. I believe that the people of Lancashire, with all due respect, not Lancashire, St. Michael's, were conducting their own searches, and the police was conducting their own searches in the river. So I find that to be very concerning. What's the name? Heather Gibson was the organizer of the search, and Emma was helping too. She wasn't even the organizer. And they were giving out maps and directions to people where to search and where not to search. They were telling them to download an app, which is right, so that they could get hold of them, or that the people could let them know if they spot Nicola Bulley. May she rest in peace. But what doesn't make sense at all is that for them to be told where to search and where not to search sounds a bit tricky here. I can imagine they told them not to search certain places because maybe it's too dangerous, or maybe the police need to search that. But it doesn't make sense why Emma and Heather are part of the searches. Searches are, the community usually helps to search in every country, in every case. But usually the community works side by side with the police. It seems like everyone was conducting their own search in Lancashire, which is surprising. You had the TikTokers conducting their own search. You had Curtis Media conducting his own search. You had the police conducting the search that they are supposed to. And then you had, what's her name? Penny. Penny, I don't know what to say about Penny. Penny not allowing people to do searches, I guess. And we are told not to speculate. I believe that's unfair. We as the public have the right to know what happened to Nicola Jane Bulley. The reason I say that is I'm not saying that we have the right to check our medical files and all like Penny Bunny. No, that's not what I'm saying. We have to have respect for people, and especially for people who are deceased. What I'm trying to say is basically we are entitled to know more information about this case, because we were just sitting and minding our own business when this came out in all our news channels. In Sky, Channel 5, IT News, The Independent, The Sun, name it. Nicola Bulley, may she rest in peace, his case became viral. It's international. So I believe all of us women want to know what happened to Nicola, so that we know that we are safe to go out for a walk, and nobody would just say, oh, she tripped in the water, and that's it. Another thing, I believe we all are the voices of Nicola Bulley. When injustice is done, it needs to be investigated. This poor woman, his confidentiality rights were breached, and nobody did anything about that. The police reported themselves to the watchdogs because they knew they messed up in Nicola's struggle, whether with medical health or mental health. Since when did it become legal to be just throwing out people's medical records in the public and in the media without any consequences? And then after everything, when they reported themselves to the police watchdogs, They were found not to have making any mistakes. How could they have been found not to make any mistakes when Nicola ended up in the river after the 10th of January? Maybe they could have done something more to prevent a situation like this. Because if Nicola really had mental health struggles, I don't believe she had alcohol addictions and all that. I believe that is excused by someone to get Nicola to look unstable. That's my personal opinion. But even if Nicola was struggling with mental health issues, or even with anxiety, or with clinical depression, whatever she was suffering with, isn't it only right to have given her that help and monitored her and looked after her and tried to follow up her case? Because when they came to the house on 10th of January, they already knew that Nicola was vulnerable. Because they came with the welfare team, they came with the mental health team, or the medical team, and the ambulance and all. So this looked like it was a big thing. If this was so important for the police and for the welfare and all, why didn't they make the right decision by example? As a licensed mental health counselor, I would have said, until we do therapy and find out what's happening with Nicola, and the psychiatrist does his evaluation and all, and the mental health team works side by side with her and her family, I would have said, let's start with take away her car keys. Don't let her drive. Because if a person is, I'll give you a very good example. It's not only about mental health. I just remember the police were saying that she had menopause struggles and her brain was getting foggy and such things. Okay, it happens. When somebody's having symptoms like that, there are the law and enforcement. We are an example from the mental health team, but they're the law and enforcement. They deal with accidents. They deal with bigger things. So the police should have done the right thing and made sure that Nicola Bulley example, his license was taken and her car keys was taken. They could have told Paul and the family to monitor her, or they should have put her in hospital example, till they find out what is actually happening to this poor woman. May God bless her soul. I always said that the 10th of January is important, and I still state that everything is because of the 10th of January. Whatever mistake was not done on the 10th of January led to Nicola Bulley losing her life. That is what I believe. That is the reason they said that the previous case, Nicola, that the police did what they could. How could the police do what they could when there's only one police officer who came? Isn't there supposed to be 2 police officers in an incident like that? We don't even know if it was domestic violence. Because clearly the police said, and the news said, that the police were called, the police, the welfare, and the mental health team or medical health team was called to Nicola Bulley's house on the 10th of January, and nobody was arrested this time. Let's remember that sentence. Nobody was arrested this time. Why wasn't anyone arrested? Why did the police find it necessary to talk about nobody was arrested? Was there a fight that broke out there? Was this a domestic violence incident? Allegedly. Was Nicola beating up Paul? Allegedly. Was Paul beating up Nicola? Allegedly. Something happened there on the 10th that they're trying to brush it away. So if they said the police did not do anything wrong on the 10th of January, I don't expect the inquest to turn out on Nicola's favor. I'm sorry to say. And it's really sad, it's really hurtful. It is really, really sad, especially for Nicola's daughters. They don't need to go through this traumatizing experience. They've already spent 23 days of their life praying and hoping and crying that their mother is not pulled out of the river, but the mother comes knocking home. Then Nicola comes and gives her children a hug. We all prayed for that. We all wished for that. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. But one thing that can fortunately happen is we need to make sure that this woman gets her justice by not forgetting her name, by putting respect on her name, and by trying our best to make sure if this inquest doesn't work on the 26th of January, that we continue as a team to try and get Nicola justice by not giving up. Paul said, Nicola would never give up on us. We won't give up on her. Paul, if you're not giving up on Nicola, why weren't you searching for Nicola for 23 days? Paul, why are you so busy opening GoFundMes? Are you in some kind of debt crisis? Why is Senior Superintendent Rebecca Smith involved? Isn't she from the drug unit? She's done a couple of drug busts. So she is a top detective, but she belongs in that branch. So let's think, what would Rebecca Smith from the drug unit be doing with Nicola Bulley's case, who's a missing person? Doesn't make sense. Unless, let's think about, I'm just throwing it out there, and this is for speculation. This is for entertainment purpose only, sorry. So let's see what could have possibly happened. If Rebecca Smith is from the drug unit, could it be possible that somebody in this family is involved in drugs like Paul? I'm saying it out. Allegedly. Could it be that somebody in this family like Paul owes a lot of debts and that somebody wanted to collect the money? So somebody could have been, threatening them or whatsoever, allegedly. Was that what got Nicola in the river? Could that be possible? Because something happened here, and this is a third-party involvement. If it was not a crime, the timelines wouldn't have been changed. If it wasn't a crime, witnesses wouldn't have been so unstable, or the police wouldn't have been keeping on changing witnesses. If this wasn't a crime, Nicola Bulley would have been found within a couple of hours near the bench area if she fell in the river. If this wasn't a crime, Nicola Bulley's body would have floated up within 6-8 days. If this wasn't a crime, Nicola wouldn't have been found near Rockcliffe Road, where people have access easily to the roads. If this wasn't a crime, Penny would have been not acting like that. People would have been willing to come to the interviews and talk and explain what they saw. It's always people who are involved in a crime who act like this. Let's not forget. If you sit down and write down all the things that have been said in these interviews by the friends, you'll be gobsmacked. Seriously. It's not only what they said, it's what they haven't said. It's their actions, smiling, giggling. What is there to smile about? An innocent mother fell in the river, allegedly, according to you. Why is Emma and Paul smiling? Is it because they know that they're playing a decoy? Emma clearly said that people walk near the river. You just go for a walk with your dog near the river and then you fall. And she was laughing. All of Nicola's friends, Jill, Emma, Louise even, the only thing they keep on continuing saying in the interview 24/7, there's no evidence to point us in any direction. I believe that the whole of this group know each other well. I don't know how many of them know about exactly what happened. At least I can say 3 of them. Penny, Emma, allegedly, and Paul. All 3 allegedly, since we can't say much. The reason I say these 3 people Penny disappeared. She ain't talking. Emma's acting. Emma's acting. I don't know what to say about Emma. She's just acting like Emma, I guess. There's no empathy for Nicola from both her friends and her partner. The only genuine people I see really crying, the hearts and pouring the hearts out there. Obviously, we can't see the daughters, the minor, may God bless them. It is the parents. It's Nicola Bulley's parents, not even sister. Parents, I repeat. How come Louise, the sister of Paul, the partner, Emma, the friend, and a couple of others, how come they all say she just vanished through thin air? All of them have said that. There's no evidence to back it up. All of them have said that. She just disappeared. Disappeared. All have said that. Vanished in thin air. Nicola Bulley did not vanish in thin air. Nicola Bulley did what was right, going out for a walk with the dog Willow like she normally does. Somebody else, and it's usually somebody you know, wanted to silence Nicola. For whatever reason, somebody decided it was time to get Nicola out of the world, which is really sad. Look at how many, unfortunately, accidents that we've been seeing lately in the rivers. I'm talking about for the last 10 days. We had 3 boys who one accidentally drowned. They all 4 ran into trouble in Newcastle, in the river. There was 1 boy missing, an 18-year-old boy, 15-year-old boy. He was found next day in the river. Then you have Shannon Cannon, who was missing, and she was reported missing and she was found 5 days later. Why did it take 23 days to pull out Nicola from the river? Or was it actually Nicola who was pulled out of the river, allegedly? They want us to believe that Nicola was in the river the whole time. I don't believe that. I refuse to buy that. But it's going to be very interesting what the inquest says. Although I don't believe they're going to say much. They're going to rule it out as an accident. Because if they don't rule it out as an accident, then everything comes into questioning. But the reason I believe that they're going to rule it out as an accident is because they ruled out the first one as the police never did any fault. I thought police always come in 2s. They don't come, or 3s. They don't come in 1. The only police officer that came did not have on his body camera. So how are they going to investigate about what is said and what was done? They just have to believe the police, the mental health team, and the ambulance drivers. What was happening in Nicola Bulley's life, may she rest in peace, the last, I would say, 6-7 weeks, has a lot to play with us. Some changes must have really started building. Some issues must have started building the last couple of months till it got to the point that it exploded. We have to always think about who knows Nicola Bulley's whereabouts. Who knows that she walks in that part of the river? Who knows how long she walks in those parts of the rivers? Who knows that she walks in the upper field or the main field? Who knows what days Nicola works? Who knew that Nicola was going to walk in the park, walk in those areas that day? Who knew exactly that Nicola was going to walk there on the Friday 27th, that she would be walking near Garstin Road, the river tore apart at 9:15. We need to ask ourselves that question. Who exactly knew about it? That needs to be investigated properly. And I believe somebody, whoever had to do with the third party involvement, could actually be somebody who works in the primary school. I just remembered it. Because why would they call the primary school first? It never made sense to me, but now it makes a bit sense. Because just say, example, if there was a couple of people involved in this third party, if there were more people involved in this third party, just say scenario or episode or whatever event, then I believe that it would have made it, that could be the reason that they called the primary school. Maybe it was a code. Somebody who works in the primary school could be involved. They could have called them to say, oh, Nicola, fell in the river and all. And then they called Paul, you see? Who isn't, was it Emma or was it Jill Pat, who's one of the, I don't know, leaders in the parents' school board or something? The primary school needs to be checked. Whoever works in the primary school could be seriously involved. And this had to be allegedly premeditated. That's the reason that it's become like a mystery. I believe they wanted to make it look like a mystery. They wanted to make it look like Paul said, everywhere you look at it, it's a brick wall. That is exactly what they were trying to do. They wanted all speculations or all theories to go to a brick wall. But I think they chose the wrong story. They really chose the wrong story. Because on the 4th of April, the police divers came back with the orders of the HMC. Those are the people who are dealing with the inquest, the autopsy people, coroner. So what must have happened is they must have said, now go back there and float on your backs and see if you can literally go over the wheel. And they must have been searching for the keys or something. But then Lancashire Police, if you are listening, you'll need to call Gisla K. Her name is Grizzly True Crime, because she knows where Nicola Bulley's keys are. She said exactly, her exact words was, also the keys were found in the pocket. That's what she said. In case she deleted it, I have a copy, just that you'll know. Because this is serious. I don't understand how people could be tampering with fake or real CCTV footages that Mr. Paul Ansel decided to give it later on in the search. No, after the search and after Nicola was found, Senior Superintendent Rebecca Smith, you should be paying attention to what has been going on here. Because the CCTV footage has been floating around on YouTube that you can clearly see is fake. So when you're telling us not to speculate, I think you should be telling Paul Ansel to stop bringing rubbish to Grizzly True Crime so that we stop speculating. This is really terrible. Gizza K, we want justice for Nicola. Please do not interfere and spoil it. Please stop interfering in cases that could end up being a murder case. And then you have the audacity to say, look at these YouTubers. People are just so negative and evil. No, we do not touch Nicola Bulley, so we are not negative or evil. We are good people trying to get justice for Nicola Bulley. I want you to be investigated so that you don't ever interfere in another important case. So that was Gisla K. Gisla K. Curtis. Some people are just so involved in this case that you have no other thing but to ask yourself, am Penny Bunny getting Nicola's so-called medical records? Now that is prison time. I'm serious. Somebody going around with somebody's mental health records or medical records, that is prison time. If we as counselors play around or breach somebody's medical evidence, Penny Bunny, let me teach you a bit here. We go to prison. Our license can be revoked. Do you understand how serious that is? I'm just helping you out here and telling you to stop playing with people's medical records. Especially do not play with Nicola Bulley's one. We have nothing but respect for Nicola, and we are trying to protect Nicola's name for her beautiful daughters. So put respect on her name. And coming back to this case, there is so much nonsense in this case that I think we need to sit and clean up this mess by finding out what is true, what is false, what came from the media, what came from the social media. Everything is so messed up, and that is a plus for them. That's exactly what they wanted. The timelines, everything to be mixed up. What a shame. What a shame. This innocent mother from Essex deserves a justice. Nicola Bulley did not do anything to deserve this, that nobody is paying attention to all the things that are happening around us. People in St. Michael's, why don't y'all talk? Get justice for Nicola Bulley. Nicola Bulley will get her justice. She will definitely get her justice from God. But in this world, Lancashire Police, give her justice. You can clearly see that she did not fall in a 2 feet water. She couldn't have drowned. And my question is, how come this is the second woman who was missing on a Friday morning? Shannon Cannon was missing on a Friday morning. And what was strange is Shannon was named as a high-risk person, a welfare concerned person. And after Shannon's body was found, I don't think there's an investigation being done. Shannon did not throw herself in the river. She had everything to live for too. Although she's had family tragedies, her family, when they were notified and when they reported her missing, they said it was out of her character. Nicola's parents said the same too. So what happened to Shannon? And that was only 25 minutes away from each other. Shannon was found in the River Loon. Nicola was found in the River Wye. And then you have Rebecca Jackson, who came to visit some friends 3 months ago, went out for a walk, and she was found near the park and river, the River Ribble. So is there someone going around harming people, especially harming blonde women? Because they all seem to have the same description. They all are quite short, they're not that tall, they're blonde. But I believe Nicola Bulley's case had to do with someone close to her, very close to her. And I wonder what the job has to say about her. Because I always thought the job had to be involved. She was on our call, she was on the conference meeting. Anyway, guys, please like, share, and subscribe. I hope we get justice for Nicola Bulley on the 26th of January. I don't believe this was accident, an innocent accident that she fell in the river. I believe all the cameras were tampered with on purpose, so that they could have access to abduct Nicola Bulley from the scene. And I believe when Paul was telling us the river is not what happened and I want everything to be scrutinized and Nicola is not in the river, no. Nicola wasn't in the river, but he wanted everyone to disperse from the river so that he can go and put Nicola back in the river, allegedly. That's my opinion. Please like, share, and subscribe, guys. Have a lovely weekend.